and welcome to An Evening in Jackson. I'm your host, Kristi Turnbow. An Evening in Jackson is your newest source for events and entertainment, plus food, fun, and fashion. It's a showcase to highlight and to enlighten you about your city and the people, places, and things that make it what it is. We are filming tonight at the Carnegie in downtown Jackson, and we're being brought to you by E+ Broadband. For tonight's show, I have a very special guest, Mr. Steve Little, and we're going to get a behind-the-scenes look at his singing career, plus the amazing legends that are at the Carnegie right here in downtown Jackson. We're also going to find out why Steve loves Jackson and why he calls it home, and the story behind the Carnegie and what's available for you right here in downtown Jackson. I'll also update you on some food and fashion trends and what is going on in your own backyard. We'll be back in just a moment to An Evening in Jackson.
When it comes to buying your next car, you don't have time to spend all day on the car lot. We make life easy and convenient for our customers. You can not only find the car you want, you can have your trade value assessed and complete your credit approval, all from your home or office. And we'll even deliver your new purchase to your home at no extra cost. Dependable cars and convenience at Sarah of Jackson and Sarah of Bartlett. The experience drives everything.
At Southern Family Dentistry, we offer dental treatment for your entire family. We have the latest 3D digital x-ray system. We offer implants, veneers, teeth whitening, and all the other normal services you receive at the dental office. We have 2 offices, one in Milan and one in Jackson, and E+ Broadband telephone services allows us to connect both of those offices. It doesn't matter which office the patient calls, we have the ability to speak to that patient at either location.
At First Bank, this is what we want for our customers and our community.
We put family first.
We want our community to be first.
We put our schools first.
We put our business community first.
We put our online banking first.
We put our customers first.
We want you to know what we stand for and that we're a bank that puts you first.
We put you first at First Bank. Visit one of our locations today.
First Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
She seemed perfect at birth. It wasn't until a couple hours after birth that she started to just all of a sudden decline.
She had 100% blood loss. She spent 48 days in the NICU. First 3 weeks were absolute terror.
She received 42 blood transfusions. You can't say thank you enough to people who give blood. It's giving a part of yourself to help someone.
Lifeline, our community's blood bank.
Oh my gosh, she's wonderful.
She's the air I breathe. That is my daughter. I can't thank you enough.
And welcome back to An Evening in Jackson. I'm your host, Kristi Turnbow. We're being brought to you tonight by E+ Broadband, and we're filming live at the Carnegie in downtown Jackson. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the Carnegie, and then I'm going to bring on my special guest to help me give all those behind-the-scenes details about what all the Carnegie has to offer to you. The Carnegie, well, it started in 1903 as the Jackson Free Library, so it was basically the first free library here in Jackson. And then in 1975, it got listed on the National Historic Register of Places. And then in 1987, after several years, the city of Jackson took it upon themselves to restore it. And then it finally became the Carnegie. The Carnegie is also known as the Legends of the Tennessee Music Museum. It's located on 305 East College Street, right in downtown Jackson. And they're open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And anybody's welcome at any time, and they especially love groups. You can find more information at info@jacksoncarnegie.com. Jackson was and still is the home to all types of music. And as I have stated before to you guys, and as many of you already know, the very first Hard Rock Cafe in the United States was right here in Jackson at the Old Hickory Mall. And the Hard Rock Cafe was started and founded by local Jacksonian Isaac Tigret, which I think is an amazing piece of Jackson history. But before we start our journey, about the Carnegie. I'm going to introduce my very special guest tonight, Mr. Steve Little. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Kristi. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm so excited. You know, the one thing, you know, about you being you and your company, so you're the owner and president of Voya Financial.
Partner, whatever.
Owner, partner.
Yeah.
But you have an amazing history of singing as well.
We do. Yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate that I've been able to mix a real working job along with music in my life. So I've been really blessed in that area. So.
Well, and something else, and that's why I'm so excited. I know you're the vice president of the board for the Carnegie. The Legends of the Tennessee Music Museum, which I absolutely love.
At the Carnegie, which sounds really cool. You know?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
And to know how it really got its start, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Going on our journey and talking about how it became what it is today. Because as we were talking earlier, I still think, you know, the Carnegie is one of those hidden jewels of Jackson that so many people may have never been to before.
Right.
Or they may have come years and years and years ago when it was an event space.
Well, it could have been. It could have been a lot. There were a lot of weddings that took place in this building. And
because it's absolutely to me, one of the most stunning buildings in Jackson.
Well, it is. It's the architecture in here is absolutely amazing.
Right.
So when you walk in here, you know, people that come into the museum, they're as fascinated with the building as they are the museum.
Right.
I mean, if you've never seen this building, you walk in here and you're
just like, oh my goodness,
and the skylight that's up above, and just the way the building is designed, it is amazing. So.
And I can't wait for us to get more into that. But just to give our viewers tonight a little bit of background on you. I know that so many people know you, and we've been friends for a long time. But just talking about, yes, so you're the owner and partner of Voya Financial.
Right.
Your son, Brad Little, also works with you.
Right.
I think one of your biggest claims to fame, too, is your most fabulous wife ever, Judge Kristi Little.
I have a wonderful wife.
Who serves and protects, truly, the children of Jackson and Madison County.
She does. She has a passion for kids and takes care of lots of children in so many, many ways. And I hear all the stories at night when she comes home and the cases that she hears. And most people are just, we're blind to what's going on. But she does get involved. And I tell her sometimes I have to reel her in because she hears so much bad things, but she's helping a lot of children.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of good things for kids.
She does, and you and your company also do so many great things for Jackson. It seems like so many of the events I attend, just over and over and over again, Voya, you know, helps sponsor those, and y'all so support so many things. And this community couldn't do without people like you that help that, you know?
I tell you, you know, as you say it, and the way you said it, it makes me, we've talked about this. Brad and I have talked about it many, many times, and this community has given us a lot. So we feel like that's the way we can give back. And so we do sponsor a lot of things, but we feel like we owe it to Jackson. It's just a part of what we do. It's what we want to do.
Right, and I always say personally and then as collectively as a whole, what's good for Jackson is good for all of us.
Exactly.
So thank you for doing that.
I agree.
Going back, before we start our journey to the Carnegie, tell us just a little bit more about yourself. Besides singing, what are some of the other hobbies that you and Kristi may enjoy?
Well, we like to travel. We do enjoy that.
You travel?
And love to eat, obviously. So, but
okay,
you know,
speaking of eating, what's your favorite dessert?
Well, my favorite dessert would have to be pecan pie, probably.
Pecan pie?
Yeah, that would have to be. Yeah.
I
make a mean pecan pie now.
You actually can cook pecan
pie? I do.
Pie?
I cook a pecan pie in a skillet.
Do you really? Like a cast iron skillet?
In a cast iron skillet. I got a great recipe for that. I can't believe I'm saying all this, but I
think it's wonderful.
But it's really good. So.
We're trying to get a behind the scenes look. So before we move on to the journey, just trying to get to know you a little bit better, Steve. So, but moving right along. So, you know, doing some research about the Carnegie, and I found out some things I didn't know. And I think one of the most interesting things I found was in the 1940s, these two little boys or young men walking to school every single day in Bemis, Tennessee. I mean, just right in South Jackson. One was Carl Perkins, and one was Bill Boyd, and how they changed the face of music. Starting with Carl Perkins, 1956, really created rock and roll. Blue suede shoes, topped all three charts at that time.
No question about it.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And then Bill Boyd, which some people may not know, but he started off as a DJ, spinning those records, then as an interviewer and a promoter of acts all over the country.
Yep.
And then he went on to create and found basically the Academy of Country Music.
The Academy of Country Music. And he was responsible for that, and he's from right here in Jackson.
I mean, how amazing is that we have this in our community?
That's a story that most people don't really know that story.
And to me, it's so fascinating.
You're right, it is fascinating, and it is amazing. And we have a display in here on Bill Boyd, just on him.
Right.
And some people come through, God, who is Bill Boyd? But when you hear the story, it's hard to believe that he's from right here.
Right. But in my mind, I can see those two young guys, walking down the sidewalk in Bemis, and then to know what all they've, done and accomplished and left behind for us.
Exactly.
Talking about the Carnegie, it has the largest collection in the world of Carl Perkins.
It does. And we're very, very fortunate. Randy Williams, I don't know whether you know Randy or not, but Randy is an amazing guy. And he got interested in Carl at a performance where we opened for Carl. Do you know when they had the Carl Perkins Auditorium out at Hollywood Drive there?
Yes, I sure do.
Right there at the bandstand.
Right.
And Cecil Cravens, which was a member of our singing group, and he built that auditorium, and he asked Carl to come and open up. And we opened up for Carl that night.
And real quick, I forgot to talk to you about that, the Delacardos.
The Delacardos.
That's part of your singing group. You guys started in 1981.
We started in 1981. We were together 33 years, which is unbelievable.
60s doo-wop. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and we sung everywhere. We were fortunate. We sang all over the country, did a couple of cruise ships and did those kind of things. So we had a lot of fun with that.
But to give you guys, some tie-in of why you're so supportive of the Carnegie and the history that's right here in Jackson, because
the music history here is amazing. And as I think about when I was in college, when I was playing a rock and roll band, I played in a rock and roll band for 25 years. Yeah, we were. I mean, I was in music before the Delacardos really started, so I played in a band. And I think about the groups, because we always thought, well, we were going to be famous someday.
Right.
And what is amazing about it, Kristi, is that we were right between the two biggest music meccas in the world, Memphis and Nashville.
Right here in Little Oak,
you're
Jackson.
talking about right between Elvis Presley and Hank Williams or whatever, so we were right there. And I think about Carl, it kind of gives me chill bumps when I think about it, but Carl, his dream was the same as my dream, but he went on and made it,
Yeah.
And he ended up with, in recording sessions in Memphis and all this kind of stuff. That's where the $1 Million Quartet thing.
And that's an amazing story in itself.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to An Evening in Jackson.
It's still hard to think that your child had cancer. The thought of them not being here, it was terrifying.
Going through treatment for cancer can be quite difficult for patients. That's why platelets are so vital.
When he would get the platelets, he would perk right up. Just so thankful that somebody had taken the time out of their day to donate platelets.
Please help give them hope and the strength to carry on. Donate platelets.
At First Bank, this is what we want for our customers and our community. We put family first.
We want our community to be first.
We put our schools first.
We put our business community first. We put our online banking first.
We put our customers first.
We want you to know what we stand for, and that we're a bank that puts you first.
We put you first at First Bank. Visit one of our locations today.
First Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
When it comes to buying your next car, you don't have time to spend all day on the car lot. We make life easy and convenient for our customers. You can not only find the car you want, you can have your trade value assessed and complete your credit approval, all from your home or office. And we'll even deliver your new purchase to your home at no extra cost. Dependable cars and convenience at Sarah of Jackson and Sarah of Bartlett. The experience drives everything.
And welcome back once again to An Evening in Jackson. We're being brought to you tonight by E+ Broadband, and we're filming live downtown Jackson at the Carnegie, the Tennessee Legends Music Museum. Did I get that right, Steve?
Tennessee Legends of Music Museum.
Of music. Well, I got close.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. You're
just
good.
To bring back our viewers to what we were talking about earlier, just the history of the Carnegie and how, you know, when you started out singing, I didn't know you were in a rock band, so I'm going to have to tease you about that.
Well, I was in 3 rock and roll bands, actually.
Really?
And we started out as the Cavaliers.
Okay.
When I was in like 64. And we started out with that group, and then it developed into the Merritts. And that was during my college years.
Okay.
And then after my college years, we had a group called Deep South. And we traveled, the Merritts and Deep South traveled all over the South, basically. We traveled everywhere. And I mean, we that's when I thought we were going to be big time. We were going to make it big in the music. And we were, you know, what we probably could have. We were that close. But, you know, it's the connections and the things. If you just don't have the right, things just don't line up just right.
Right.
That's when you don't make it. So good musicians are a dime a dozen. I wasn't a musician, I was a singer. So,
right. And now your path has brought you to be one of the leaders in our community and to help us out and to, you know, be on the board and support something like the Carnegie that everyone, and not only Jackson and West Tennessee, but the entire world can come here, learn about our music history, learn about Carl Perkins and people like Bill Boyd and so many others, because it truly is right here in our own backyard.
It is. There's no question about it. And that's really how this museum started.
Right.
I mean, there was a group of us that wanted to keep the music history alive here in Jackson.
And it was so needed.
And it needed it, because if we hadn't have done this, maybe somebody would have done it, but maybe not. You know,
right.
But you know, Jimmy Exum came to me, and he was working on the amp, which has been amazing success for downtown. And then he said, we've got to keep the music history alive. And so that's how this all developed. And then we were fortunate enough to meet Randy Williams, which is the curator for all this stuff in this museum. He owns everything in here. And
to be able for him to share it.
And him to his willing, but he wanted a place to share it.
Right.
He just didn't know where to go. And museums they're not easy.
Right.
I mean,
it takes time and resources
it's
everything
not
else,
an easy project. I can just tell you that right now. I thought it would be just simple. It's not. It's not an easy thing.
And getting the word out, because, you know, you and I were speaking a little bit earlier, and I'm like, to me, it's one of the hidden jewels of Jackson. If you've never been to the Carnegie, or even if you came years ago to an event, it is now a true museum.
It is a true museum.
It is showing you your history of not only people that are known around the world, but also in your own backyard. History. I mean, Carl Perkins, Rod and Bemis grew up. I mean, everything he did for Jackson. You know.
Exactly. He was a true Jacksonian.
Yes.
I mean, you just look at the Carl Perkins Child Abuse Center,
yes.
which is, we're one of the sponsors of that, and you know what an amazing thing, and they do so much for children as well. So yeah, he loved Jackson, and he wanted to give back as
much as he could.
As much as he could, and we were fortunate enough to open for Carl. You know, when they started the Blue Suede Shoe auction thing, which is coming up, I think, what, in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yes, on the 29th.
Yeah, the 29th. When that, you know, the Delacardos, we opened for him for the first 5 or 6 years, because he performed at every one of those in the beginning.
Right, I remember that.
And we opened for him. So that was a real joy. And then we were able to open for him in Dallas, Texas. We opened up in Memphis at several different things. So I got to know Carl pretty well.
Right.
And he was an amazing guy. So, and his son Stan, Stan has given back as well.
Over and over.
We're having tour groups that are coming in here to the museum, and they're coming from all over the world. And you know what? Stan, can you come down and meet the tour group and just maybe just talk to him a little bit?
And share his dad's history.
And share his history.
Yeah.
And he is so humble about it. So he really is. It's not like I'm the star, my dad's the star. Let me tell you some stories.
Right.
And the people, they come in here, they love it.
Right. And once again, the Carnegie's open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Groups are welcome at any time.
Anytime.
To get more information, they can go to info@jacksoncarnegie.com.
Yeah. I'm glad you know that.
Yes. But it is right here downtown. You know, 305 East College, come down. Bring your family. You're looking for something incredible to do on a Saturday. You know,
it's amazing.
Come down. Find out about your history.
Right.
talk about a little bit and let our viewers know about how the Rockabilly Museum has closed.
Right.
And now we have, or you guys have brought this into the Carnegie as well.
We have, and we're working on that. That's a work in progress. It's just like the beginning when we first put a few things in here and I said, we have a museum.
Right.
And I realized we didn't really have a museum yet. We had a few things,
right.
but it has progressed into a real museum. And the Rockabilly has just added to that. So unfortunately, you know, Henry passed away. It's amazing that he had the following and he had created that name for the Rockabilly Hall of Fame. He did a wonderful job with that.
And people came from all over the world for that too.
They did, and people come from all over the world just to see the Carl Perkins stuff.
Oh yes.
I mean, the Jacksonians probably don't appreciate as much as the people
right.
out of the country do.
And that's what the whole purpose behind an evening in Jackson is all about. You can't be bored in your own backyard, especially when we have jewels, hidden jewels sort of like this. And when I have Niles Reddick on the show, we talked about the planetarium. There's so many things that are right here that you may have never visited or been to or understood.
Right.
Really what has made your community what it is today.
My Kristi and I, we were on a trip and we were up in Maine. It was just the two of us, and we were riding a ferry across over to Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
Okay. And this operator of the boat was helping us, and he heard us talking. He said, "Where are you from?" We said, "From Jackson, Tennessee."
Had just a little bit of accent.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an accent.
Yeah,
up there in Maine. But anyway, he said, we said Jackson, Tennessee. He said, "Really, the home of the Rockabilly Hall of Fame?" And I looked around at Kristi and said, "Can you believe this?" And it wasn't long after that when we got back that Henry passed away, and. So it's been a work in progress. We've gotten everything here, and we're about to display some of the things that he had down there. So
we just want the rest of the community to come back out.
Exactly.
And visit. Come see, this history that we're talking about, because all the music, all different types,
all different types, everything.
From the past to the present, there's still great live music all the time. Every weekend there's something going on in Jackson. You spoke about the AMP, which to me is one of the most amazing venues in this town. And
really
when you go and you see everyone hanging out and listening to that live music, and it's just around the corner till it'll be opening back up.
Yeah, it opens up in May.
You think the Delacardos will come back and sing something down at the AMP?
Probably not. That'll probably never happen. When we lost Bill Way,
yes.
when Bill passed away, and he was a vital part of the thing. And then, Jerry Campbell, he passed away as well. So we've lost two key members. I don't ever see that ever happening again. I don't think we could ever have that feeling and that magic now.
Yeah.
No.
Is there anything else, when we talk about the history of Carl Perkins and how everything is here of his that can possibly, his first guitar, I mean, there's so many things. Is there anything that specifically is like your favorite item or something that you think that, if someone's coming down here to check out the museum, that they really need to pay attention to?
God, that's a really good question.
Didn't mean to catch you off guard. I just didn't know.
There's some really cool stuff in here. I mean, there's so many things. I don't even know what to pick out. And when you first come in here, you see an amazing video. You go in our video room, and it's kind of like a church setting in there. And so they see some really good history of about 15-minute video, which is an amazing thing to see. And then, we got W.S. Holland. There's a drum set in there on W.S. There's, of course, the stuff on Carl is amazing. Eddie Arnold, there's a display right over here on Eddie Arnold. Eddie Arnold's from here.
Yes.
I mean,
and so many people don't realize that either.
I know that. I get chill bumps just thinking about it because the history is overwhelming.
Right.
And, of course, Tina Turner, we have a dress on Tina. And we have some local people in here that are...
And something I think, too, talking about the history of Carl Perkins and how so many people, like Garth Brooks, said he was one of his biggest influences.
Well,
the Beatles, when Carl passed away, some of the Beatles came to Jackson to his service.
They came here a lot to Jackson.
Well, a lot.
Times when we didn't even know
they were here. But,
but when he passed away, they came.
They came. And, so many people around the world got to see that. So I guess, talking about the Carnegie, come check out the Carnegie. Come to downtown Jackson and find out the history of the music that has helped build this city and West Tennessee.
Right.
So, Steve, I cannot say thank you enough for being with me tonight. I so appreciate it.
I appreciate you asking me. And I appreciate you doing it here at the Carnegie because it's a jewel that everybody needs to come and see.
Everybody needs to come and see.
They do.
Yeah, thanks again.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a few minutes to an evening in Jackson.
When it comes to buying your next car, you don't have time to spend all day on the car lot. We make life easy and convenient for our customers. You can not only find the car you want, you can have your trade value assessed and complete your credit approval, all from your home or office. And we'll even deliver your new purchase to your home at no extra cost. Dependable cars and convenience at Sarah of Jackson and Sarah of Bartlett. The experience drives everything.
At First Bank, this is what we want for our customers and our community. We put family first.
We want our community to be first.
We put our schools first.
We put our business community first. We put our online banking first.
We put our customers first.
We want you to know what we stand for and that we're a bank that puts you first.
We put you first at First Bank. Visit one of our locations today.
First Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back once again to an evening in Jackson. I'm your host, Kristi Turnbow. We're being brought to you tonight by E+ Broadband, and we're filming live at the Carnegie in downtown Jackson. Now it's time, after we've had our special guest, Mr. Steve Little, to talk about food, fun, and fashion. So some of the fashion trends that are going to be hot for spring of 2020, the disco collar. And they said disco was dead, but it is back now. The disco collar is going to be one of the main things that you'll be seeing in and around town. Also, highlighter-inspired neons are also going to be a hot trend for this spring. Bermuda shorts, they're back. And tiered dresses are also with lots and lots of ruffles and lots of tiers. That's something you're going to see all spring and summer. And then 60s and 70s, talking about disco, well, the 60s and 70s wallpaper prints are going to be on everything you see. Some of the food trends. Now, this is really interesting. Tahini is a seasoning. It's a chili lime salt. And you pretty much can use it on everything, from ice cream to fruit to popcorn and omelets. So check out Tahini seasoning. Also, big for food trends, pellet grills. They're going to be bigger than ever. Honey butter, a staple of the Midwest, is going national. And then mushrooms. Mushrooms, as we know, have been around forever, but they're now considered the new superfood. And you're going to see mushroom extracts in everything from chocolate to coffee. Oh my goodness, even all kinds of mushroom snacks. So be on the outlook for those as well. Some upcoming events that you don't want to miss. Remember, all of this is right here in your own backyard. On February the 27th, it's Business After Hours at Hub City Brewing. February the 28th is the Jackson Service League's Masquerade Ball at the Country Club. And February the 29th is the Blue Suede Dinner and Auction at the Carl Perkins Civic Center. Some of the dates coming up in March, Dorothy and Emerald City by Ballet Arts, and then Go Red for Women is just around the corner as well on March the 26th. So how are you going to spend your next evening in Jackson? What events or entertainment are you planning to attend? Make sure you do something right here in your own backyard, and if nothing else, come to the Carnegie in downtown Jackson. I thank Mr. Steve Little again for being my guest tonight, and we hope to see you again soon on an evening in Jackson.